Welcome to Net Front Presence. I'm Jeff Gordon, the Post-Dispatch, joined by our beat reporter Matthew DeFranks, and this is the playoff play-in edition of the Net Front. Matthew, the Blues in a tough uphill battle to make the playoffs, and that starts with a couple games against the Calgary Flames. And Calgary's got a team that's not necessarily going to go away, so this is going to be a tough road for the Blues going forward.
Yeah, it's tough to look at games in mid-January and say how important they are to the season, but entering this little stretch against Calgary, they had to get something out of these games. They couldn't come away empty-handed just because of Calgary is right now they are 3 points ahead of the Blues and they have 2 games in hand on St. Louis, so the Blues are behind them in that scenario. And if you looked at it and said, hey, well, what if they had actually lost on Tuesday? They would have been 4 point or 7 points back, right? If I did the math, yeah, 7 points back. And then if they would have lost on Thursday, it would be 9 points back, and with 2 points or 2 games in hand for Calgary. And that math just is tough to square. It's a weird thing to have in early or mid-January, but the fact that they were able to get something out of these games on Tuesday, we'll see what they get tonight against Calgary, uh, was important to them. And they're still going to have to make a run in order to make the playoffs. Roughly, win every 2 out of 3 games, roughly speaking, to get to about 95 points, which has typically been a cutoff for the playoffs. So they still need to get on a little bit of run, but winning on Tuesday and kind of getting some points against Calgary certainly helps.
Now you look at that Western Conference. You mentioned the Canucks trying to find themselves, but the Blues, as they go forward, they've got a couple of right off the bat. You get past these games. Utah's a bit of a disappointment, but boy, Vegas and Dallas, these are trying to win at the pace you suggest is necessary, which the math says that's necessary. This challenge, even with home games coming up, very tough for the Blues.
Yeah, just looking at this schedule right now, right? So Calgary tonight in a playoff spot. Utah, one of the teams that the Blues are fighting for a spot with. Yeah, Vegas. Vegas, obviously, we know what they're doing. One of the best teams in the West. Won the cup a couple years ago. Dallas, best record in the West last year. They've gotten really hot recently. What are they? 7-1, 8-1 in their recent games. Vancouver, you're fighting for them with the spot for a spot. Colorado won the cup a couple years ago. They haven't had the results in the regular season in the last few years, but we know how dangerous they are always can be. Utah, Edmonton, Florida, like it just keeps going. Like they have a bunch of games against teams that they're either fighting against, or they're really top level teams across the entire league in the last few years. You have the last 3 cup winners on this schedule coming up soon between Florida, Vegas, and Colorado. So it's not uh, this past stretch that we just went through when they have, as big of a stretch that we'd have coming up. You look at it and you say, okay, well, Detroit, Nashville, Buffalo, Chicago, Ottawa, Columbus, a very injured Minnesota, Anaheim, Columbus. Like I know Columbus has gotten their act together, and Detroit has made a coaching change since that game has happened. But that was a stretch where you look at it and say, this is kind of some fertile ground here. And in that 9 game stretch from Detroit to Columbus, they went 5-4. So maybe didn't quite get the amount of points that you would have liked against those types of teams. The brand of hockey that they have been playing has actually been pretty decent. They haven't been getting caved in. If you look at expected goals or shot attempts, shots on goals, they've generally had an advantage or a very slim deficit. So they've played good hockey. They just haven't always gotten the results with it. But at this point, you're more than half the way through the season. They're going to need to find some results in order to make a push if they want to.